Okay, so everyone, I am here at the Nine Pyramids Lounge with Aya here in Cairo, Egypt. And so we are just going to talk a little bit about clinical research. So I'm going to bring up a few questions that I had, and then we'll start there. Tell me a little bit about how you first learned about clinical research.
And maybe the first time I learned about clinical research when I was in the undergraduate studies at the Faculty of Pharmacy. We learned about the phases of clinical trials. And this is the first time to hear about clinical research and the process of drug development, starting from the preclinical studies till the clinical trials till reach to the patient.
So was it an official course that you took?
Yes.
Okay. So in America, a lot of people, we just learn about clinical research accidentally. They don't have like a course that has like clinical research course and you can take it in the university.
No, at the university, at the Faculty of Pharmacy, I'm graduate from Ain Shams University. We took a course, a separated course about the clinical trials and the process of drug development.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good introduction because for us, a lot of us know from a friend or from a family member, and they say, "Oh, do you know about research?" And you said, "No, what is this?" And then they tell you, and you're, "Oh, yes, let me pursue it." At that point, but we don't have it at a formal, class like that. So that's good. That's good. What is your ultimate career goal? What do you want to be ultimately? Do you like the senior CRA, or do you want to continue?
I believe that one day I will have my own CRO.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
And I'm doing now my PhD in clinical research.
Okay.
So I hope after finish my PhD, I think I will be capable to run clinical trials.
Yes.
And of course, it's all, it will be a long journey to reach to have my own CRO. But I believe that one day I will do it.
Yes, that's good. That is great. We need more CROs out there.
And here in Egypt, we need.
Yes, you need. Okay, do we have the big ones out here? The Icon? Which ones do we have?
Here in Egypt, we have IQVIA, one of the international CROs in Egypt. I think this is the biggest one here.
The biggest one, and then smaller ones.
Local, local CROs.
Okay, local CROs. Okay, so that's good. Yes, I myself, I don't know what I want to do eventually, but I like clinical trial management. I love it. I love to do that, and then I also like to, help clinical research professionals through ClinEssentials. So
that's great.
Yes, well, that's really good. Okay, so let's see. The next item. So how did you learn about ClinEssentials? Like, how did you learn about, I found you on LinkedIn. We found each other.
Yes, accidentally. I see a post talking about that if you need a consultation session for your CV, you can contact Tiffany. So I sent you a message that I need a CV consultation. So you review it. And as you know, after your revision for my CV, I got an interview at IQVIA.
Oh,
yeah, really? Maybe 2 years ago, I applied for such every job in at IQVIA, but no one answered me.
Oh, wow.
After your modification, wow, it comes to true, and I got it to the interview.
Wow, that's
so really,
amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's amazing. And that's, a lot of times I see, they say I've applied 50 times, 30 times, no answer, no reply. And I always look at the resume, and within 2 minutes I could say, oh, change this, change this, change this. And then it makes you stand out, and the resume stand out. That's lovely to hear. Look, guys, all the way out here in Cairo, Egypt, we've had a career services CV review through ClinEssentials, and she at least moved to the interview stage. That is great. Thank you. Oh, man. Do they work with a lot of global teams? Like, here within Cairo, Egypt, do you work with a lot of people in the US at all?
It depends on the clinical trials that's running. But for example, of course, IQVIA or multinational CROs, they work in a global team. Local teams, I don't know. But for example, for me, we don't work with a global team.
Okay. So you just hear local. And are there a lot of clinical researchers in Egypt? Do you think?
Um, I think after the coronavirus, there's a lot of clinical trials running in Egypt now.
Ah, wow. How do you typically learn? Like, how would a patient typically learn about research here? Is it through their doctor or through like ads? Do you guys advertise for clinical research?
No,
No?
no, we don't have advertise for the clinical research. But all the clinical research running here in Egypt, it depends on your communications with the physicians at hospitals or medical centers.
Okay, so that's similar to in the U.S. as well. They usually have like a primary doctor that they go to all the time, and if they say, "Oh, I have diabetes," the doctor will say, "Oh, we have a diabetes study either here in our clinic, or I know of a clinical research study, here coming up or a couple miles away that you can go and learn more." So similar. Okay, perfect. When you monitor, like, do you monitor electronic source or paper, like the paper charts?
Do you mean about the CRF or the process of monitoring?
Your CRF, is it electronic or is it paper?
The two forms are here in Egypt. Most of the CROs now, they transform to electronic CRF, but till now there is a CRO who's working on a paper CRF.
Ah, wow. And then what about the sites? Do they have paper source or paper or electronic source?
A paper source.
Paper source. Okay, okay. So and in the US, they're slowly making the transition to electronic source.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of companies that everyone's using. Have you heard of like Viva Vault before?
No.
Do you guys have electronic TMF? Like the trial master file?
Electronic on a separated website or separated application? No.
Yeah, no.
It's just a soft copy on
the paper.
Yeah, paperwork. Yeah.
So do you have lots of paperwork here?
Yeah. Headache. Really. Every single step, every single call, you have to record it. Every monitoring visit, everything.
Just lots and lots of.
But it's very interesting for me.
Yes. Oh man, that's great. So and how long have you been a senior CRA?
2 years.
That's good. And I've been in 20 years total.
No.
I was a clinical research coordinator, and then I was a CRA, and then I went to CTM. So I like CTM out of all of those.
Okay.
Yes. So, that's, but CRA, do you have to travel a lot?
We traveled inside the Egypt, but not outside.
Oh, that's good.
Because of about the protocol of your clinical trial.
Yeah. So because I know in the U.S. sometimes they have like a West Coast CRA, and they'll travel to California, Utah, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, all of the surrounding states, where they can get to probably in 2 or 3 hour flight. And so they have a West Coast, they have a Midwest, and then they have an East Coast.
Okay.
So they have their CRAs like that. So it's probably something similar here, but you're just in Egypt in your specific area.
Yes.
Do you work with a lot of universities, like small clinics, like small doctor clinics? Or more like universities do hospitals?
University hospitals.
University hospital.
Not allowed to work in a private clinic.
Now, what about can private clinics do their own research?
It's not about they are good or bad. It's about for the safety of the patient.
Yeah,
all about that.
It's better.
Yes.
It's better in the big hospitals and the institutions.
And because it maybe have a violation for the patient,
Yeah.
for them to get in a trial.
Yeah. So in the United States, we have lots of big institutions. Oh, here, let me put to the sorry, when you have a chance, the clip. So, yeah, thank you. So in the U.S. we have big institutions like let's say Harvard, Yale, you know, those big,
Yes,
they'll have the big medical centers, but we have a lot of little doctors' offices doing research, lots of them. I would say probably 75% of clinical research in the US is individual doctors, so their own practice. So like if you go to your doctor and they have a research office and then they see you for a regular patient.
Ah, okay.
And then they have the bigger institutions as well, but not as many. But the bigger institutions take a long time to get up, to be activated.
Okay.
Yeah, they do because they have to go through the local IRB, like their own board. They have to do contracts, budgeting, and it could take up to 6 months for some like Harvard, Yale, big institutions to be able to enroll their first patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
6 months. It's a little bit good.
It's really
in
good.
Egypt, in Egypt, maybe you will take, for example, 60 days to take approval. If there is no comments from the committee.
Yes.
So it has to be to get your approval in 60 days.
60 days is the norm. And the contracts, are those done at the same time? Is the contracts done at the same time? Like the budget and contracts for the
Depends
doctors?
on the team that's working on that contract.
So it can be, or it might wait until the approval.
Yeah.
So in the US, when there's local IRBs, it could take the 6 months, but when there's a central IRB, have you heard of central IRB?
Yeah.
Yes, those can go very fast. So the study could get up, like you could get approval for the study maybe in 1 week. For the entire study. And then for every doctor that submits, it could take up to like 48 hours or 72 hours.
Yeah.
So
very fast.
Very fast. So that's like research can go quickly in the US when there's a central IRB. But when it's the bigger institutions, it takes longer.
Yeah.
But here it sounds like there's only one way, right? The main institution 60 days or so.
Yes.
But no faster way.
No.
Oh. Yeesh.
maybe in the next years they will improve the process of clinical research.
Yeah. I did bring you a gift.
No.
Yes, I brought you a ClinEssentials gift. So these are what our monitors use in the US. This is their visit to-do list. So they put what they're going to do at the visit to keep them organized.
Okay, it's nice.
And then here on the back, they can do their notes. And then inside, so you have the Padfolio. So inside the action items, here, when you need to write the action item, file let's see, medical license, the new medical license, or the new, do you have financial disclosure forms? Financial disclosure forms here? To make sure there's no conflict of interest with the doctor?
I don't know.
Probably not, because it's a form that the U.S. Investigators, they sign, and in other parts of the world where they'll say, I'm not working for Pfizer, and so I have no financial interest in making the results perfect. You know,
I think it may be in other CROs.
Yes. So this is the action items, and it's like carbon copy.
Okay.
So you write it once, and then you that. And then, do you use yellow sticky notes here?
Yes, the yellow one, yes.
The yellow one. Lots of writing, huh? Yes. So you probably use these.
Yes.
The yellow sticky notes.
And also I used the to-do list.
The what?
The to-do list.
The to-do list. Yes, like this
like
one.
This one,
like the one. And so then this is better. This is better than the yellow. And now let me show you. If you have a page that says date as late entry, header, initials, page number, patient number, signature, you quickly can say that they didn't do this, they didn't do this. You put it on the side of the source. You close it and it sticks out.
Good. Brilliant idea. Yeah.
So it sticks out. And so now they could see the color to know how to prioritize. So protocol deviation,
Yeah.
quick. That needs to be prioritized more so than prior to the next visits.
Yes.
Or please
Clarify.
clarify. So these we actually
It's very helpful in the monitoring visits.
right,
Yes.
right, especially when there's yellow sticky notes used. So here we have 16 phrases. The please complete, protocol deviation, per the source, please reconcile, prior to the next visit, per the ECRF, or for you it would be per the CRF.
Yeah.
Please clarify, please file. And then there's a blank one where you can write whatever. Serious adverse events, adverse event of special interest. Do you guys have adverse event of special interest?
For me, I didn't.
You haven't seen that?
Because
Yeah, sometimes for certain studies, they'll say, well, we know that these patients will get nauseous or vomiting, and that we would consider that one a special interest adverse event.
Okay.
So they have it coded and flagged different because it's one that they especially want to look at more so than other adverse events. So here we call it adverse events of special interest. And it's in the protocol, it will say adverse events of special interest, and they'll have the list. So then as a monitor, you would know the one to pay attention to and flag it accordingly if they haven't recorded it correctly. Adverse event, please add to drug accountability log, concomitant medication.
They always do that.
Yes, they always do that.
Oh, we got it to the patient, don't worry.
And then, fix it, it's flat. Yeah. Okay, perfect. And then temperature excursion, please report to. So we have IRB EC. Do you have EC? Ethics committee?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So ours is in.
And IRP for every NSA, for every site, they has a IRP committee.
Okay. So for every site, they have a IRB committee. And then in like EU, they have like ethics committees.
Yes.
Do you guys have ethics, or is it considered IRB?
No, there is also an ethics committee with ministry policy.
Okay. So in Canada, they have Health Canada, where they have to get the study approved by Health Canada. And then the doctors would have to submit to their local IRB. So it sounds like similar here, where you have to do the ministry first and then the site on the, so, okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right, so yes, so these are all of the others. When we get back to the United States, we'll send you the full.
Okay, thank you.
This is the Padfolio here.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, so I'll zip it up. I wanted to make sure I brought you a gift for spending some time with you. Yes. Where's one place in the world you would like to travel to, if you could?
I like to travel to Spain.
Spain,
Yes.
Wow. And any particular place in Spain?
Barcelona. Yeah.
Now, do they have football here, like soccer?
Yeah, the football.
Football.
Yes.
So Barcelona.
It's a popular, popular sport here in Egypt.
And are there
Every
any
child
from baby? Yes. And do they have any other sports? Do they do basketball?
Yes, basketball, tennis, volleyball, swimming.
Swimming? Okay, but football is the... So if you go to Barcelona, you'll go to a game, check out a game?
No. I will enjoy the landscape.
Do you ever get tired of traveling as a CRA? Like having to, do you have to get on a plane to go to any of your sites? No, you just drive.
Just start.
So that's nice.
Not nice. Long travel.
You don't.
Crowding and the hottest weather. The weather is hot and.
So even if you're driving, it can get old.
I need another one to drive, and I will get asleep till reach to the site.
Exactly, that's true. Because what's your furthest site? Is it like 2 hours away from you?
No, maybe 1 hour. The long one.
That's not bad. When I was a CRA, I feel like out of all my years of CRA, and I probably did about 5 or 6 combined years of CRA throughout the 20, I've only had one company for 1 year that I drove. All the other was flying. That's the norm. That's the norm is to have the driving. I mean, not the driving, but the flying. Yeah. So the flying is what is you'll always do, and you're lucky if you get a one that's within driving distance.
Yes.
And monitoring visits. Do you guys stay? Do you usually go 2 days or 1 day typically?
Every site,
Mm-hmm.
we go 1 day per week.
1 day a week?
Yeah.
Wow. Is that because the protocol visits are so
Yes.
frequent?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the US, we usually do every 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 8 weeks for the frequency. So they'll come now and then 4 to 8 weeks later, they'll come back.
Okay.
So we don't come weekly.
Even at the visits are very short. Every couple of days.
Yeah, so I would say our visits are usually every either 2 or 4 weeks apart.
For example, the patient come within 2 weeks for visit.
4 visits.
Yes.
So that's why you have to go so
Yeah.
often because that work will pile up for you. Now there are some studies. Do you guys do phase 1 studies, the inpatient studies here?
And Egypt, I think they get approval to phase 1, but only for the Egyptian product.
Wow. Okay, because the phase 1 studies in the U.S. they have them stay at a unit for maybe like the patients will come and check in for maybe 14 days and they stay there the entire 14 days. So monitor CRAs for the phase 1 units. They do go faster. They go
Yeah.
back maybe every week because there's so much data. It's the
Yes.
constant 14 days worth of data. So they don't want to get behind. But usually the phase 2, 3, and 4 studies, those are spread out, the visits for the patients. So they come, the monitors don't have to come back every week because there's nothing to look at. So they kind of time it based off of how the protocol is.
Okay, yes.
So it sounds like you're just on a protocol that's more frequent.
All of things and the monitoring depends on the protocol. Your protocol is your guide.
Exactly. A protocol is the guide. And do you guys do many oncology trials here? The cancer studies?
I don't know exactly if we have a lot of oncology trials or not. I really don't know if it's frequently or not.
So in the US, that's one of our number one
Yeah.
studies are the oncology. All the different types of cancers.
Yes.
So that's interesting. But then they have the diabetes and the vaccine and the other indications. But oncology it's been very popular for the last 5 or so years in the U.S. Wow, it's interesting. Yes, it's good to have small comparisons, where we meet and where we have differences. So I will ask the last question. What do you enjoy most about clinical research?
I like when the sponsor come with the protocol and the implementation phase.
Yes.
This is the most interesting part for me. And also, when we come to the result stage, it was very excitement for me
Yes.
to see it's working or not.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And doing a report on the study. The best one for me.
Yes.
The best thing, I do.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. Again, everyone, Tiffany Ashton with ClinEssentials, Director of Operations, and I am here in Cairo, Egypt, with one of our fellow clinical research professionals here that has given me some time, and we're having lunch at the 9 Pyramids lounge right outside the 3 pyramids of Giza. So I will have to send a picture as well. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.